The more you talk about what you're going to do, the less you actually do. That's the truth. Most people never realize. They think talking about their struggles makes them stronger. They believe announcing their plans makes them more committed. But in reality, the more you speak, the more you drain the energy you should be using to take action. Think about it. Every time you tell someone what you're going through, you're inviting opinions, judgment, and doubt. Not everyone wants to see you win. Some will discourage you. Some will pretend to support you while secretly waiting for you to fail. And others, they don't care at all. But the worst part is, every time you speak, you give away control. You let others influence your mind, your emotions, your confidence. You don't owe the world an explanation. You don't need approval for your struggles. You don't have to announce your every move. Growth happens in silence. Discipline is built in the dark. The strongest people don't talk about what they're going to do. They show you what they've done. Stay with me, because this message will change the way you move in life. By the end of this video, you'll understand why silence is your greatest weapon, and why keeping your next move to yourself is the key to real success. Let's dive in. Number 1. Your growth happens in silence. Your growth happens in silence. That's where the real change begins. Not when you're talking about what you're going to do, not when you're announcing your plans to the world, but when you're putting in the work, day after day, with no audience, no applause, and no one watching. Because that's the truth about success. Nobody sees the hard part. Nobody sees the early mornings, the late nights, the quiet sacrifices, and that's exactly how it should be. Too many people waste time telling the world what they're about to do. They talk about their plans, their goals, their ambitions. They post about it. They tell their friends. They even seek validation from people who don't really care. And for a moment, it feels good. It feels like progress. But here's the harsh reality. Talking about it does nothing. Saying it out loud doesn't make it real. It's just noise. The real work that happens when nobody's watching. Think about the most successful people in the world. Do you think they went around telling everyone about their plans before they made it? No, they were too busy working. They didn't need validation. They didn't need approval. They focused on what mattered. Progress. Quiet, steady, consistent progress. And that's the difference between those who make it and those who don't. One group talks, the other works. One seeks attention, the other seeks results. Growth is not something you broadcast. It's not something you put on display for others to judge. It's something deeply personal. It's the struggles you go through alone, the failures you learn from, the silent victories that nobody else will ever know about. And that's okay, because when you finally succeed, that's when people will notice. That's when they'll ask, how did you do it? That's when they'll start paying attention. But by then it won't matter, because you'll already be ahead. People love to talk about what they're going to do. They say, this year, I'm going to change my life. I'm finally going to start that business. I'm going to get in shape. But here's the problem. Saying it gives them a false sense of accomplishment. It feels like they're taking action. But in reality, nothing has changed. They haven't moved forward. They haven't done the work. They've just spoken words. And words without action mean nothing. And here's the other thing. When you share your plans, you invite opinions. And not all of them will be supportive. Some people will doubt you. Some will criticize you. Some will secretly hope you fail. And if you're not careful, their words will start to affect you. Their negativity will get in your head. You'll start questioning yourself. You'll start hesitating. And before you know it, you've lost momentum. You've lost the fire. That's why silence is so powerful. It protects your energy. It keeps you focused. It allows you to grow without interference. The people who truly succeed in life understand this. They know that growth happens in private. They don't waste time explaining themselves. They don't look for approval. They don't seek attention. They just do the work. And when the time is right, the results speak for themselves. That's how you win. Not by talking, not by announcing, but by quietly becoming the person you're meant to be. There's a reason why the most powerful moves in life are made in silence. Think about it. When a tree grows, it doesn't make noise. It just grows. When a lion hunts, it doesn't announce its presence. It stays quiet, focused, and patient. And when the moment comes, it strikes. That's how success works. That's how real growth happens. So if you're serious about changing your life, stop talking about it. Stop looking for approval. Stop announcing your every move. Focus on doing the work. Focus on becoming better, step by step, day by day. Let people wonder what you're up to. Let them be surprised when they see the results. Because at the end of the day, your growth is for you, not for them. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. The only thing that matters is that you keep moving forward, that you stay committed, that you stay disciplined. And when the time is right, when you've put in the work, when you've earned it, that's when the world will see. But until then, be silent, be focused, and keep growing. Number 2, your struggles are not for public approval. Everybody struggles. Everybody goes through pain. But not everybody understands that their struggles are not for public approval. The hard times you go through, the moments of frustration, the failures, the doubts, the times when you feel like quitting, those are not meant to be displayed for the world. They are not for likes, comments, or sympathy. They are for you. They are shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you for the next level of your life. But too many people fall into the trap of putting their struggles on display, looking for validation. They want people to see how hard they're working. They want people to acknowledge their sacrifices. They think that by sharing their pain, they'll get support, encouragement, or maybe even respect. But that's not how it works. The world does not reward effort, it rewards results. If you're struggling, if you're grinding, if you're pushing through obstacles, that's part of the process. But the moment you start broadcasting your struggles, you open yourself up to unnecessary noise. You give people access to your journey, even when they haven't earned the right to have an opinion. And that's dangerous, because once you let in those outside voices, you start to second guess yourself. You start to wonder if you're on the right path. The truth is, most people don't care about your struggles. Some might pretend to. Some might offer words of encouragement. But deep down, they're focused on their own lives. And some are just waiting to see if you'll fail. Not everyone who listens to your problems wants to see you win. Some people are watching, waiting for you to slip, waiting for proof that you can't make it. And when you start talking about your struggles, you give them exactly what they're looking for. You give them access to your weaknesses. Your struggles are personal. They are part of your growth. They are the moments that separate you from everyone else. When you keep them to yourself, you stay in control. You stay focused. You stay grounded in your own purpose, not in the opinions of others. Think about the strongest people you know, the ones who inspire you, the ones who seem unshakable. You don't see them complaining. You don't see them looking for sympathy. Why? Because they understand that struggle is necessary. They embrace it. They don't look for applause. They look for solutions. When you share too much, when you seek approval for the hard times, you give away your power. Instead of pushing through for yourself, you start looking for external motivation. But the truth is, no amount of approval will make your struggles easier. No amount of likes or supportive words will do the work for you. The people who truly make it in life don't announce their pain. They endure it. They fight through it in silence. And when they come out on the other side, when they've conquered their battles, they don't have to explain anything. Their success speaks for itself. So if you're going through something right now, if you're in the middle of a struggle, remember, this is for you. This is your journey. You don't need permission to fight for your dreams. You don't need approval to keep going. Let the struggle be your fuel, not your performance. One day, when you've overcome everything that's standing in your way, the world will see the results, and by then, you won't need to explain a thing. That's how real winners operate. They move in silence. They work in silence. They struggle in silence, because they understand that nothing they say will prove their worth. Only results will. So don't waste time looking for sympathy. Don't waste energy trying to convince people that you're going through something difficult. Everybody has their own battles. What separates the strong from the weak is how they handle them. The weak talk. The strong work. The weak look for approval. The strong look for progress. And if you want to be strong, if you want to get through the challenges ahead of you, you have to be willing to struggle without an audience. You have to be willing to push through the pain without needing validation. Because at the end of the day, your struggles belong to you. They are your story to tell when you're ready, after you've made it, after you've turned the pain into power, after you've transformed your life. Until then, keep going, keep fighting, keep moving forward, and let your success do all the talking. Number 3. Not everyone wants you to win. Not everyone wants you to win. That's the hard truth most people don't want to face. When you set out to improve your life, when you start chasing something bigger, when you decide that average isn't enough for you, you're going to find out something real fast. Not everyone is rooting for you. Not everyone is happy to see you grow. Some people are waiting for you to fail. Some people want you to stay exactly where you are because it makes them feel better about where they are. You have to understand that not everyone clapping for you is actually happy for you. Some people smile to your face and doubt you behind your back. Some people act supportive, but secretly hope you never make it. And the worst part, sometimes these people are the ones closest to you. Friends, co-workers, even family. Not because they're bad people, but because your growth reminds them of their own lack of progress. Your success forces them to look at their own choices. And some people don't like that feeling. See, when you start making moves, when you start improving, you disrupt the balance. People are comfortable with you being at a certain level. They like you when you're struggling, just like them. They like you when you're complaining about the same things. They like you when you're predictable. But the moment you start changing, the moment you start thinking bigger, the moment you start working on yourself, some people will start acting differently toward you. They'll start questioning you. They'll tell you you're changing. And you know what? They're right. You are changing. And you should be. That's the whole point. The real ones will be happy for you. The real ones will support you, even if it makes them reflect on their own life. But the ones who aren't ready to grow, they'll try to pull you back. They'll try to distract you. They'll plant doubt in your mind. They'll say things like, "Are you sure this is the right move? What if it doesn't work out? Maybe you should play it safe." Not because they're looking out for you, but because deep down your ambition makes them uncomfortable. You have to get real about this. Some people are waiting for you to fail. They won't say it out loud, but they're watching, hoping that you give up, hoping that you mess up. Because if you make it, if you actually succeed, they'll have no excuse for why they never did. Your success will expose their laziness, their lack of discipline, their fear of trying. And some people would rather see you fail than deal with that. That's why you have to move in silence. That's why you have to keep pushing forward. No matter what people say, that's why you can't waste time looking for approval. Because some people will never give it to you. Not because you don't deserve it, but because they don't want to see you win. And here's the most important part. You don't need them to want you to win. You don't need their support. You don't need their validation. You don't need their approval. Winners don't wait for permission. Winners don't stop because someone else doesn't believe in them. They believe in themselves. They keep working. They keep growing. They keep moving forward. You have to stop expecting people to understand your journey. It's not for them to understand. It's for you to walk. It's for you to fight for. It's for you to prove to yourself that you can do it. And when you get there, when you reach that next level, when you've built the life you want, you'll realize something. None of the doubts, none of the negativity, none of the people who didn't want you to win mattered. The only thing that mattered was that you didn't stop. So stop worrying about who supports you and who doesn't. Stop looking for approval from people who secretly hope you fail. Stop letting the opinions of others dictate how far you go. Focus on your work. Focus on your growth. Focus on your growth. Focus on becoming the person you were meant to be. Because at the end of the day, the only person who can stop you from winning is you. Number 4. People judge, not everyone cares. People judge. That's a fact of life. You walk into a room, and before you even open your mouth, people have already made up their minds about you. They judge the way you look, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself. Some judge because they don't understand you. Some judge because they wish they had the courage to do what you're doing. And some judge just because that's all they know how to do. But here's what you need to understand. Not everyone cares. They might judge, they might talk, but at the end of the day, most people are too focused on themselves to truly care about what's going on in your life. That's why you can't waste your time worrying about opinions. You can't live your life trying to impress people who wouldn't even notice if you disappeared tomorrow. You can't hold yourself back because you're afraid of what they'll say. People will talk no matter what you do. You could be at rock bottom, and they'll judge you. You could be at the top, and they'll judge you. If you fail, they'll have something to say. If you succeed, they'll have something to say. There's no winning in the game of public opinion, so stop playing it. Too many people hold themselves back because they're afraid of being judged. They don't start that business. They don't chase that dream. They don't step outside their comfort zone because they're worried about what people might think. But here's what's funny. Most of the time, the people judging you aren't doing any better than you. The loudest critics are usually the ones who've done the least. The people who have time to sit around and judge others are the same people who aren't making any real progress in their own lives. You have to ask yourself, who are you really trying to impress? Who are you afraid of disappointing? Who are you letting control your decisions? Because if you're changing who you are, holding back, or hesitating because of other people's opinions, you're living life on their terms, not yours. And the truth is, most of those people don't even care about you as much as you think they do. People have their own problems. They have their own struggles, their own worries, their own insecurities. They might judge you in passing. They might talk for a moment, but then they move on. You're not the main character in their story. They're focused on their own life. So why are you letting their opinion shape yours? Why are you letting the fear of judgment stop you from going after what you really want? You have to develop a mindset where you stop seeking approval from people who don't contribute to your success. The ones who truly matter, the ones who actually care, they're not judging you, they're supporting you. They want to see you grow, they want to see you win. And the rest, they're just noise. Background noise. The kind of noise that only distracts you if you let it. If you live your life trying to avoid judgment, you'll never do anything meaningful. You'll never take risks. You'll never push yourself. Because every step you take, someone will have something to say. So what? Let them talk. Let them judge. Let them whisper. While they're wasting their time talking about you, you're out there making moves, improving yourself, building something real. The people who judge will always be there. But the ones who truly care, they're rare. They're the ones who stand by you, who push you forward, who celebrate your wins instead of picking them apart. Those are the people you need to focus on. And more importantly, you need to focus on yourself, on what you want, on what you need to do. Because at the end of the day, the only opinion that truly matters is the one you have of yourself. So stop holding back. Stop hesitating. Stop letting the fear of judgment control your decisions. The people who judge don't matter, and the people who matter don't judge. Live your life, chase your dreams, and let the results speak for themselves. Number 5. Every time you talk, you give away control. People don't realize how much power they give away just by talking too much. They think that sharing every detail of their plans, their struggles, their goals, will somehow bring them closer to success. But the truth is, every time you open your mouth and let the world in on what you're thinking, you're giving up control. You're letting other people's opinions, their doubts, their negativity seep into your mind. You're handing them the keys to influence how you feel, how you act, and whether or not you even follow through. There's a reason the most successful people don't announce their every move. They understand that the more they talk, the more they expose themselves to unnecessary distractions. The more they let people in on their plans, the more outside voices start creeping in. And before they know it, their focus is gone. Their momentum is broken. Their energy is drained. Because now, instead of putting all their effort into action, they're busy explaining themselves. They're defending their choices. They're trying to convince people who were never going to support them in the first place. Most people don't need to know what you're doing. They don't need to hear your 5-year plan, your daily struggles, your next big idea, because the moment you start talking, you invite judgment. You invite opinions that don't add any value to your journey. And the worst part, the more you talk, the more you create expectations for yourself. Now, instead of quietly working on your goals, you feel the pressure of people watching. You feel the weight of their opinions. You start worrying about how you'll look if you fail, and suddenly, you're more focused on proving people wrong than actually doing what needs to be done. The ones who talk the most usually accomplish the least. They get caught up in the illusion of progress. They think that just because they've said it out loud, they're one step closer to achieving it. But talking is easy. Talking feels good. It gives you a temporary high, a sense of accomplishment, but it doesn't replace the work. And the more you talk, the more you feed that illusion. You start mistaking conversation for action. You feel like you've already done something, when in reality nothing has changed. Silence is powerful. When you keep your goals to yourself, you protect them. You shield them from the negativity, from the doubt, from the unnecessary noise that comes with sharing too much. You stay in control of your emotions, your actions, your mindset. You don't give people the chance to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. You don't give them the opportunity to bring their negativity into your space. You move in silence, and you let your results speak for you. Think about the last time you told someone about something important to you. Maybe it was a dream, a goal, an idea you were excited about. What happened? Did they encourage you? Did they push you forward? Or did they fill your mind with doubts? Did they question you? Did they make you second-guess yourself? Most of the time, people don't react the way you expect them to. You want support, but instead you get skepticism. You get unsolicited advice from people who've never done what you're trying to do. And whether you realize it or not, it affects you. Their words linger in your mind. Their doubts become your doubts. Their fears become your fears. When you keep things to yourself, you stay in control. You don't need validation. You don't need approval. You don't need to waste energy explaining yourself. You just do what needs to be done. And by the time people realize what you've been working on, it's already too late for them to doubt you, because you've already made it happen. If you want to see real progress, learn to be quiet. Stop announcing your every move. Stop seeking validation from people who don't understand your vision. Stop explaining yourself to those who wouldn't support you anyway. Let your work speak for itself. Let your results do the talking. When you achieve something, people will notice. When you succeed, they'll see it. But until then, keep your energy focused on action, not words. Most people waste too much time talking about what they're going to do. They make big promises. They tell everyone their plans. They seek approval before they've even started. And then when things get tough, when progress isn't as fast as they expected, they lose motivation. They feel embarrassed. They start making excuses. And before they know it, they've given up. Not because they couldn't do it, but because they let the weight of other people's opinions crush their belief in themselves. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to convince people to believe in you. The only person who needs to believe in you is you. And if you truly believe in what you're doing, you won't feel the need to talk about it. You'll just do it. You'll keep your head down, you'll put in the work, and you'll let the results speak for themselves. Silence is strength. It keeps you focused. It keeps you disciplined. It keeps you in control. The less you say, the more power you have. The more you work in silence, the more unstoppable you become. Because while everyone else is busy talking, you're busy building. While they're seeking validation, you're making progress. While they're distracted by opinions, you're getting things done. Every time you talk, you give away control. Every time you share your plans, you open the door to doubt. Every time you seek approval, you hand over your power. So stop talking. Stop explaining. Stop announcing. Keep your goals to yourself. Protect your energy. Move in silence. And when it's time to show the world what you've been working on, let your success be the only thing that speaks. Number 6. Your next move should be your best kept secret. Most people talk too much about what they're going to do. They share their plans with anyone who will listen. They tell their friends, their coworkers, even strangers online. They think that by announcing their next move, they're making it more real. But what they don't realize is that talking about something doesn't make it happen. It only makes it harder to accomplish. The more you speak, the more opinions you invite. The more you explain, the more you open yourself up to doubt, distractions, and unnecessary pressure. That's why your next move should be your best kept secret. There's power in keeping things to yourself. When you hold your plans close, you protect them from outside noise. You don't give people the chance to plant doubt in your mind. You don't give them the opportunity to discourage you before you even start. Because let's be honest, most people aren't rooting for you. They might pretend to support you, but deep down, they don't want to see you do better than them. Some will smile to your face while secretly hoping you fail. Some will act like they care. But the moment you turn your back, they'll start talking. They'll say you're being unrealistic. They'll say you don't have what it takes. And if you're not careful, you'll start believing them. When you keep your next move to yourself, you stay in control. You don't have to waste time explaining yourself. You don't have to defend your decisions. You don't have to justify why you're doing what you're doing. You just do it. You stay focused. You put in the work. And by the time people realize what you've been up to, it's already done. There's nothing left for them to doubt. Nothing left for them to criticize. Because now, they're looking at the results. Think about how many times you've told someone your plans, only to feel less motivated afterward. Maybe they didn't react the way you expected. Maybe they laughed. Maybe they shrugged it off. Maybe they filled your head with reasons why it wouldn't work. And suddenly, that excitement you had, it's gone. That fire inside you, it starts to fade. You begin second-guessing yourself. You start wondering if they're right. And before you know it, you're stuck. Not because you couldn't do it, but because you let someone else's doubts become your own. That's why the most successful people move in silence. They don't announce what they're working on. They don't seek approval. They don't waste time talking. They just do. And when the results show up, people are left wondering how it happened. They see the success, but they don't see the work. They see the outcome, but they don't know the process. Because it wasn't for them to know. It wasn't for them to judge. It wasn't for them to interfere with. When you talk too much about what you're going to do, you lose momentum. You feel like you've already accomplished something just by saying it out loud. You get that temporary high, that false sense of progress. But the truth is, nothing has changed. You haven't moved forward. You haven't done the work. You've just talked about it. And talking doesn't get results. Execution does. Silence gives you freedom. When you don't share your plans, you don't have to worry about what people think. You don't have to carry the weight of their expectation. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You just move at your own pace, in your own way, without interference. You get to make mistakes in private. You get to experiment, to fail, to learn, without the pressure of people watching. And when you finally succeed, it's on your terms. It's because you made it happen, not because you felt pressured to live up to what you told everyone. There's also a psychological advantage to moving in silence. When people don't know what you're up to, they can't stop you. They can't throw obstacles in your way. They can't sabotage your progress. They can't hold you back with their negativity. You remove their power over you. You keep them guessing. You stay unpredictable. And in a world where everyone is watching, where everyone wants to have an opinion, that unpredictability is your greatest weapon. The more people know about your next move, the more control they have over you. They start influencing your decisions. They start shaping your mindset. They start affecting how you feel about your own goals. And before you know it, you're making choices based on their opinions, not your own vision. But when you stay quiet, you stay in control. You keep your mind clear. You keep your energy focused. You do what's best for you, without distractions, without interference. If you want to make real progress, stop announcing what you're going to do. Stop seeking approval. Stop looking for validation. You don't need permission to chase your dreams. You don't need confirmation that you're on the right path. You just need to trust yourself. Trust your process. Trust your ability to figure things out along the way. Keep your head down. Put in the work, and let your results do the talking. There's no need to explain. No need to prove yourself. No need to tell the world what's coming. Because when the time is right, they'll see it. And by then, it won't matter what they think. It won't matter what they said before. Because the work will already be done. The success will already be yours. So move in silence. Protect your dreams. Keep your next move to yourself. And let your actions speak louder than any words ever could. Number 7. Talking feels good, but it doesn't change anything. There's something about talking that makes people feel like they're making progress. It gives a sense of movement, a feeling of accomplishment, even when nothing has actually happened. People love to sit around and talk about their dreams, their plans, their goals. It feels good. It feels productive. But the truth is, talking doesn't change anything. You can talk about how you're going to start working out, but your body won't change until you actually show up at the gym. You can talk about how you're going to build a business, But until you put in the work, all you have is an idea. You can talk about how you're going to turn your life around, but nothing happens until you take action. And that's the trap. People talk so much about what they're going to do that they start believing they've already done something. They get comfortable in the idea of progress without actually moving forward. Talking gives you a moment of satisfaction. You get to hear yourself say big things. You get to feel motivated. Maybe people even encourage you, tell you it's a great plan. But what happens after that? That feeling fades, that motivation disappears. And when it's time to actually do the work, reality hits. You realize that talking was easy, but the action, that's the hard part. That's why most people never move past the talking stage. They chase the feeling instead of the result. They sit around discussing their dreams over and over, never realizing that every minute spent talking is a minute they could have spent building. And the more they talk, the more excuses they create. They start telling themselves, I'll start next week. I'm just waiting for the right time. I need to do a little more research. But deep down, they're just avoiding the work. The real players, the ones who actually get things done, they move differently. They don't waste time explaining. They don't need to announce their plans. They know that success isn't built on words. It's built on discipline. They take action first. And when people finally notice, it's not because they talked about it. It's because they made it happen. Think about this. Every great achievement in history, every major success, every big breakthrough, it didn't start with talk. It started with action. The ones who changed the world weren't the ones sitting around discussing ideas. They were the ones out there making things happen. And here's the thing. When you stop talking and start doing, something shifts inside you. You stop seeking validation. You stop looking for approval. You stop needing people to believe in you. Because you realize belief doesn't come from words. It comes from results. When you put in the work quietly, when you take action without waiting for permission, you build real confidence. You don't have to tell people you're serious. They'll see it. You don't have to convince them you're different. They'll know it. And by the time they finally notice what you've done, you'll already be ahead. So the next time you feel the urge to talk about your plans, stop yourself. Ask yourself, is this talk moving me forward, or is it just making me feel good? If it's not pushing you toward action, it's wasting your time. Start building in silence. Make progress without announcing it. Let your work speak so loudly that by the time people realize what you've done, there's nothing left to say. Because at the end of the day, success doesn't come from what you say you're going to do. It comes from what you actually do. Number 8, protect your dreams from doubters. There are people in this world who will try to convince you that your dreams are impossible. They'll shake their heads, laugh under their breath, and tell you all the reasons why you won't make it. They'll remind you of your past failures. They'll point out every obstacle. They'll question your abilities, your experience, and even your intelligence. And if you're not careful, you'll start listening. You'll start doubting yourself. You'll start believing them. That's why you have to protect your dreams from doubters. Most people aren't against you because they truly believe you can't succeed. They're against you because your ambition reminds them of everything they never had the courage to do. It's not your dream they hate. It's the fact that you're willing to chase it while they settled for less. Your drive makes them uncomfortable. Your vision makes them insecure. Because deep down, they know they gave up on something they once wanted. And the last thing they want to see is someone like you, proving that it was possible all along. You have to be strong enough to move forward without their approval. You have to understand that doubt is not a reflection of your ability. It's a reflection of their mindset. Some people can't see beyond their own limitations, so they assume those limitations apply to you too. But they don't. Just because they failed doesn't mean you will. Just because they gave up doesn't mean you have to. Just because they can't see the path doesn't mean it isn't there. Doubters come in many forms. Some of them will be obvious. They'll mock your dreams openly. They'll tell you it's unrealistic, foolish, or a waste of time. They'll laugh at your efforts and remind you of every mistake you've made. But the most dangerous doubters, they don't criticize you outright. They disguise their doubt as concern. They say things like, I just don't want you to get your hopes up. Or I'm only saying this because I care. They'll make you second guess yourself. Not with insults, but with subtle negativity. And before you know it, you're playing it safe. You're hesitating. You're shrinking your dream to fit within the limits of their imagination. You can't afford to let that happen. If you have a vision, it's your responsibility to protect it. You don't need to explain it to everyone. You don't need to justify it. You don't need to convince people to believe in you. The only person who needs to believe in your dream is you. Because at the end of the day, no one else is going to build it for you. No one else is going to put in the work. No one else is going to sacrifice what needs to be sacrificed. This is your journey, and the only approval you need is your own. Think about this. Every great success story started with doubt. The people who changed the world were once told they wouldn't make it. Entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, inventors, they were all doubted. People told them they were wasting their time. People told them to be realistic. People laughed at them, but they kept going. They protected their dreams. They refused to let someone else's doubt dictate their future. And now, those same doubters are the ones who act like they believed in them all along. That's the reality. The same people who question you today will be the ones trying to take credit for your success tomorrow. They'll say they always knew you had it in you. They'll act like they were on your side the whole time. But you'll remember the doubt. You'll remember the negativity. You'll remember the nights you had to push forward with no support. And that's why you can't let their opinions matter now. Because once you make it, they won't matter at all. So stop looking for validation. Stop waiting for people to understand your vision. Stop expecting doubters to turn into supporters. They won't. Not until you've already won. And by then, you won't need their approval anyway. Protect your dreams by keeping them close. You don't have to announce every move you make. You don't have to share every goal. Work in silence. Stay focused. Let people doubt you. Let them talk. Let them laugh. Because when the results come, there will be nothing left to say. Your dream is worth protecting. Your future is worth fighting for. And the only thing standing between you and success is whether or not you're willing to push forward despite the doubters. So make the choice. Block out the noise. Stay the course. And prove them wrong. Not with words, but with results. Number 9. Let success speak for you. There's a simple truth in life. Talking about success will never be as powerful as proving it. You don't have to announce what you're doing. You don't have to explain your plans. You don't have to argue with people about what you're capable of. Just do the work. Stay consistent. Show up every day. And let success speak for you. Too many people waste time trying to convince the world they're going to be great. They tell everyone what they're about to do. They post about their future achievements before they even take the first step. They spend more time talking about the dream than actually building it. And that's where they go wrong. Because real winners don't spend their energy trying to prove themselves with words. They prove themselves with results. The truth is, no one cares about what you're going to do. They care about what you've done. People respect action. They respect discipline. They respect results. So if you want to earn respect, if you want to be taken seriously, stop explaining yourself. Stop trying to get people to believe in you. Stop announcing every move. Just work. Just build. Just get better every single day. And when the time comes, your success will do all the talking. Think about the people you admire, the ones who inspire you, the ones who have achieved something incredible. Did they go around telling the world what they were going to accomplish? Or did they just go out and do it? Did they waste time defending their dreams? Or did they prove their doubters wrong by showing up, working hard, and letting their success speak for itself? There's a reason the most successful people in the world don't spend their time explaining themselves. They don't need to. Their actions make it clear. Their results are undeniable. When you achieve something great, when you reach the level you've been working for, you won't have to say a word. The proof will be there for everyone to see. The problem with talking too much about your plans is that it creates pressure without progress. You tell people what you're going to do, and suddenly you feel like you've already accomplished something, even though you haven't. You get caught up in the illusion of success instead of putting in the work to actually achieve it. And worse, you invite doubt. The more you talk, the more people will have opinions. The more they'll question you. The more they'll criticize. The more they'll try to bring you down. And that can drain your energy. That can shake your confidence. That can slow you down before you even start. That's why the best move is always silence. Keep your vision to yourself. Keep your plans private. Protect your progress. Let people wonder what you're up to. Let them doubt you. Let them talk. Because when the results come, when you finally reach that level of success you've been working for, those same people won't have anything left to say. This is how you separate yourself. This is how you win. Not by proving yourself to others, but by proving yourself to yourself. By putting in the effort when no one is watching. By staying disciplined, even when it's hard. By showing up every day and doing what needs to be done, without seeking approval, without needing validation, without trying to impress anyone. It's easy to talk. It's easy to make promises. It's easy to post about the future. But none of that matters. The only thing that matters is what you actually do. The hours you put in, the sacrifices you make, the consistency you maintain. That's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. So stop explaining. Stop announcing. Stop looking for recognition before you've earned it. Keep your head down. Stay focused. Stay quiet. Do the work. And one day, when the results are undeniable, you won't have to say a word. The world will see it. The doubters will see it. The ones who didn't believe in you will see it. And in that moment, you'll realize you never needed to convince anyone. Because real success doesn't need an introduction. It speaks for itself. Number 10. If you want to shock the world, stop announcing and start doing. Everybody wants to be great. Everybody wants to achieve something big. But here's the difference between those who actually make it and those who don't. One group talks, the other takes action. One spends time telling the world what they're about to do, while the other just goes and does it. If you really want to shock the world, stop announcing your plans and start executing them. Too many people fall into the trap of talking about success instead of building it. They tell everyone, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to make $1 million. But weeks go by, months go by, years go by, and they're still saying the same thing. No action, no progress, just empty words. And the worst part, they start believing their own talk. They get so comfortable saying, I'm going to do it, that they never actually do it. That's why you have to move differently. You have to cut the talk and start the work. You have to stop looking for validation and start taking steps. Because success isn't built on words. It's built on effort. It's built on discipline. It's built on showing up day after day, doing what needs to be done, even when nobody's watching, even when nobody believes in you, even when it feels like you're all alone. Here's what happens when you announce your plans too early. First, you create unnecessary pressure. People start watching, waiting, expecting. And if you slip up, if you take longer than expected, they start questioning, they start doubting, they start throwing negativity your way. And that can mess with your confidence. It can make you second guess yourself. It can drain your energy before you even get started. Second, you waste time proving yourself instead of improving yourself. You spend hours explaining your vision to people who don't even care. You get caught up in conversations instead of putting in the work. And the longer you talk, the further you drift from the real goal. And third, you make it easy for people to steal your momentum. Not everyone wants you to win. Some will pretend to support you, but secretly hope you fail. Some will take your ideas and run with them before you even get a chance. Some will tell you that won't work, just to plant doubt in your mind. And if you listen, if you let their words get to you, you might slow down or stop altogether. That's why the best move is always silence. Work in the dark. Move in silence. Make progress when nobody's paying attention. Build your skills, sharpen your mind, get stronger, without announcing it to the world. And then one day, when you've put in the hours, when you've built something real, when success is undeniable, that's when you let the results speak for you. Think about the people who truly make an impact. The ones who rise above the noise. The ones who change the game. They don't waste time convincing others. They don't argue with doubters. They don't need to prove anything with words. They let their success do the talking. They show up, do the work, and when the time is right, the world takes notice. That's how you shock the world. Not by telling them what's coming, but by letting them see it for themselves. Not by getting approval first, but by showing them something they can't ignore. So whatever your goal is, whatever you're working toward, keep it to yourself. Move quietly. Work hard. Stay focused. Because when the results come, you won't have to say a thing. The world will see it. The doubters will see it. The people who ignored you will see it. And in that moment you'll realize you never needed to convince anyone. Because real success speaks for itself. The loudest person in the room is rarely the strongest. Real power moves in silence. If you want to be different, if you want to be successful, stop doing what average people do. Average people talk. They tell the world what they're going to do before they even start. They look for validation, for approval, for someone to say, "That's a great idea." But great ideas don't need approval. Success doesn't come from words. It comes from action. Your struggles don't need an audience. Your plans don't need an announcement. The work you do in silence will show in time. And when it does, you won't have to explain yourself. The results will be impossible to ignore. People judge. People doubt. People talk. Let them. Your job is to stay focused, to work harder than you ever have, to build something so undeniable that when you finally reveal it, the world has no choice but to notice. This is your reminder. Stop talking, start doing, and let your success speak for itself.